Hello, how you guys doing? Oh yeah, I'm just jumping in. I actually had some. Looks like have some actual extra time. I forgot to put on my Trump hat. Hold 1 second. There we go. There we go. How you guys doing? Okay, look, my stream been acting up, but I found the solution. I think I had too much clips in there because they were hour clips, 2 hour clips, and stuff like that, and it's just to buffer it and transcode it for you guys to be ready to show you guys in real time. Was a little messy, but we are back. We are back. How you guys doing? Listen, I didn't even really shave, but I've been grinding, working hard, trying to level up. It's the best and fastest way I possibly can. And I'm a great I accomplished some great things in the last 6 years, but it has taken its toll. It has definitely taken its toll. What I'm gonna do right now, we're gonna go through the inauguration because I didn't get a chance to really just kind of just shoot this stuff with you guys. We're gonna cover it. I'm gonna try to do it as fast as I can. Then we're gonna go to the updated stuff. By the end of today, we will be where we're up to date. Okay, but I don't want to not see when I do individual perspective podcasts. I want it to live for the test of time. So anything that I'm communicating, you could go back and look at it and kind of see what was going on around that time. What was the mindset of things at that moment and everything like that. And then kind of just be in a situation where I'm giving historical data to even my podcast, but so I can't just skip over it because my stream got shut down, or some weird stuff that was happening. They wouldn't let me use C-SPAN in real time, I guess. So it allows for me to use the clips, but not the C-SPAN in real time. I don't know. They shut down my channel and everything like that. But I've been busting my butt trying to, survive and do what I got to do to kind of get to where I want to be at. Because I carried a major load of stuff, even just as a filmmaker, and to kind of carrying 6 movies on my back is pretty hardcore, and it will take a toll. So I'm not gonna lie to you, but the end result's the same. Is great accomplishment, great assets, great ownership. I don't give up ownership. You gotta come real correct. My life gotta be ease for you to have ownership like that. But anyway, I won't even get into that. So I wanted to just kind of come in and just get you guys into a preemptive mindset of people. It kind of shapes the last 12 years or so. But at the same time, it also shapes leading into the inauguration day. What I wanted to kind of show was, what I'm gonna show is, let me see if I can mute this as I talk to you guys. Yeah, they had this was radical. The last time Trump had inauguration, it was a bunch of feminists and they had hats that had the vagina on it and stuff. It was really hardcore and stuff. So, but they piled up that place. They did riots in New York and burnt up limousines and all kind of stuff on the day of his inauguration. Now this event happens, I think this happened like a day or so before his inauguration, but I just wanted to let you guys see the mindset of even just the, radical feminists and these women, looking at these women I want to touch y'all anyway. That's ridiculous. Okay, and they live in extreme liberal places too, so they got all the abortion rights that they want. And trust me, women don't even like the feminist movement. they regret they even they own success and everything, and they own like I don't even want to get into a gender war conversation here, but I'm pretty sure you guys look at TikTok and Instagram and all that, and women hate that men are not more dominant than they are. But what do you want? You mean it's either that we dominate you and it gets very aggressive to dominate you, or we kind of let you ladies have your way and evolve and get into the workforce. You know what I mean? I explained this before, that when 50% of the human population in America decides to get into the workforce that's been mobilized by men, majority men in the workforce, no matter what kind of job it is, has been, yes, you got your 10 to 20% of women that's in the workforce as nurses and some secretaries and stuff like that, but majority of accounting consultant firms or like bookkeepers and all that stuff was men. You know what I mean? A lot of general mission, just administration type of jobs were men, in addition to the actual physical labor and stuff like that. So once you decide that you want to let 50% of the population come into that workforce, then it's two things that's going to happen naturally. There's men are going to lose more opportunity to feed their families and be the breadwinner of their household, or men have to subdue themselves to act like they can't overwhelm and dominate the weaker sex, and that is women. So it's a pretend that they're not aggressively and they know what to do in order to fight for the food on their table. So if men are not being barbaric with it, I mean, they're subduing themselves. They're kind of taking themselves out of the mentality of a psychosis of masculinity. And that's you. And if you keep this going for like 4 to 5 decades, you're going to get the civilization that we have now, where women hate that men are not the breadwinners and that they're not leveling up. But the only reason why women are leveling up is because men are not fighting them for the jobs they want. Men are kind of like, you know, trying to not be adversarial, trying to not to be misogynist, or what they call toxic masculinity and stuff like that. And what did men get for it? Women are not having kids. They're not getting married. And they're shaming men for being weak. But in order for women to be able to evolve and be predominant, or let's say productive in the workforce, men have to subdue themselves. They can't be like, you're my enemy, you're trying to take food off my plate, and this is what I'll do to another person that's trying to do that. You can't do that to women. So you got to pretend like it's okay for the economic work, productivity evaluation. You gotta somewhat put in your head that you lose more than you win sometimes, and that breeds a culture that men subdue themselves. They lower their masculinity and their dominance, and that allows for women to elevate. You know what I'm saying? But that's you. And then you got to understand, men threaten other men to allow feminism and feminist movements to gain population, to gain notoriety, to gain validity. You got to have other men threaten other men to not intersect it or to give room for it. And we put it in our tax code, we put it in our laws, we put it in everything, and that's men dominating other men for the movement. So you got 4 to 5 decades of that, 40 to 50 years of that. That's where you got the population you have. So now when you see these women kind of walking around bitching and moaning and stuff, you know what I mean? I'm gonna let you play the audio to let you hear what some of the crazy stuff that they're saying, but it kind of gives you a more bird's eye view of what's been communicated and what's the mindset of our civilization. And do we want to go another 4 or 5 decades like this?
Disobey! Thousands of people are gathering here in Washington, D.C. to take part in the People's March, 2 days ahead of Donald Trump's inauguration. Organizers are calling it a day of joyful resistance.
I'm marching today for future generations. I'm marching for my granddaughters. I'm marching to show that we still have power.
Activists here are focusing on a whole host of issues, like democratic governance, immigration, climate change, and women's, minority, and LGBTQ rights.
It worries me that Christian nationalism seems to be gaining a lot more speed in the United States, and I don't like the idea that rights that women and other marginalized populations have worked so hard for so long are beginning to be eroded.
Trump won a decisive victory in November, but around 48% of voters cast their ballots against him. Some of them are here to show that they plan to keep challenging Trump's policies for the next 4 years.
It's important that the upcoming administration knows we're not quitting. We're going to be loud. We're going to be proud. We're going to make sure that everybody understands that we're not going back.
The event is a smaller successor to the Women's March that followed Trump's inauguration in 2017. But now organizers say they want to help build coalitions among many different groups.
The Women's March in 2017 was significantly bigger. I remember being on the streets with 500,000 people. I'm really glad so many people are showing up here today, but I think even though the numbers are smaller now than they were then, I think the energy is more intense and focused.
In contrast, tomorrow will be a day of celebration for Trump and his supporters at another pre-inauguration event. Thousands will gather for what's being called a Make America Great Again victory rally in support of the president-elect.
See what I'm telling you? Do you see how the men talk and everything, and how neutered they are, how castrated they are? Yeah, this is nothing. Just the way it is, guys. And I'm just telling you, yeah, the women have communicated they don't like how weak men are. They really don't. So we're gonna go through a couple little clips to see what's, just it's a rally that Trump had previous day before the inauguration. Is like little black tie affairs that he had at Mar-a-Lago and everything like that. Let me play one for you real quick. Wow, music. What's up with the music? It's like a Star Wars, That is hilarious. Oh, that's funny. They killing me with the music. Is over the top.
Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. It's been a very big day, and tomorrow's going to be an even bigger day. I want to especially thank you all for being here on the eve of one of the most important days in the history of our country, the day we save our nation and begin to make America great again. I'm thrilled to share this special moment with so many friends and supporters. You are a very extraordinary crowd of people. You're the men and women who helped make this momentous day possible, and I'm incredibly grateful for your love and support and generosity. You've been amazing. Our journey has not been an easy one, as you perhaps have seen. A lot of people said that was an impossible journey, but here we are. And we stuck together through every challenge and obstacle, and we stood strong for our country and for our freedom. And this is not my victory. This is our victory, everybody in this room. Thank you. Over the past 8 years, we've built a new political coalition of hardworking patriots of every race,
Sorry, that was me.
religion, color, and creed, youth, women, African American, and you know that we set every record there is with African Americans and every record there is with Hispanic Americans, union members, and so many others. This is a once-in-a-lifetime realignment that will endure and lead America for generations to come. This was a very, very special time in our country's history. So as we begin this exciting new chapter, I especially want to thank my family, starting with our great First Lady, Melania. Thank you, Melania. And a very special thanks to our outstanding Vice President-elect, J.D. Vance, along with his incredible wife, Usha Vance. Great. Thank you, J.D. Fantastic job. Thank you very much, Usha. And I have to call out somebody that's very special, who we put into a position that she knew nothing about other than she's an extraordinarily competent person, and she learned everything she needed to learn probably in the first day. And that's Laura Trump, who became the head, along with Michael, of the Republican Party, and she ran a tough group of people, and we made it too big to rig. They tried, but they couldn't get past her and Michael, so I want to thank both of you. It's a fantastic job that you did. Thank you, Laura. Thank you very much. Tonight I also want to thank Speaker Mike Johnson, Senators Rick Scott. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. He's the nicest man. He's actually a killer, I have to be honest with you, but everybody thinks he's the nicest man. He reminds me of Witkoff. Everyone says Witkoff's the nicest guy. But he's not at all. Just happens to be very capable. But Mike is something because everyone likes him. And when you have a majority of about 2, it's going up to 5, but right now we're 2, because I brilliantly decided I wanted 3 people. Sorry I had to do that. It just was really testing you, Mike, to see how good you really were. It's a test. But he's done an amazing job, and he's going to be a great speaker. Senators Rick Scott, David McCormick, Eric Schmidt, Bill Haggerty, along with Representatives Jason Smith, Tom Cole, Darrell Issa. Former Speaker Kevin McCarthy is here. Governor Sarah Sanders and Patrick Morrissey, co-chairs Steve Witkoff. Thank you, Steve. What a job. Just got back from the Middle East. He had a little project that he did very well on. And we took in the first hostages today, and they're coming in tomorrow, and they're going to keep coming in. And you notice it was the day before we take office. Even though the other administration, I'll be nice tonight, the other administration says, well, they didn't have too much to do with it, did they? No, not at all. Just happened to be the day before we took office. But you were fantastic, Steve, and I appreciate it. And Kelly Loeffler and Miriam Adelson. Where is Miriam Adelson? She's so fantastic. Thank you, Miriam. She is a fantastic woman. She was very generous, as were many of the people in this room. And countless other distinguished guests. Let me also express my appreciation for all of the members of our incoming cabinet who are all here and who have stepped forward to serve. And they're doing really well in the process. And the senators, the Republican senators, have been very understanding and very professional, and we appreciate it so far. Now, if that changes, I'll let you know. I'll let John know. This will be among the most talented teams ever assembled, and we're getting tremendous credit for that, by the way. And together we will make America stronger and prouder than ever before. This group of people is extraordinary. Tomorrow we will end 4 years of failure, disaster, and decline. And we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. We're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around quick, and we're going to do things that nobody thought even were possible. We're inheriting a nation faced with crisis at home and abroad, but I will describe in my inaugural address tomorrow, can you believe it? Tomorrow, it's been a long 4 years, nasty. It's been a nasty 4 years. My administration will take immediate and decisive action to confront every single problem America faces and put our nation back on the path to success and greatness. Within hours of taking office, I will sign dozens of executive orders, close to 100 to be exact.
Sorry about that. It's when my hand hits them, because I got a trackpad, and it hits that mouse, man. It's very gentle.
Many of which I will be describing in my address tomorrow. We will not waste a single moment in delivering on our promises to the people. The Trump administration will again live by the motto, promises made, promises kept. And we kept those promises. We had a very, very successful last administration, and this one, I think, is going to be even more successful, maybe a lot more successful if that's possible. Less than 24 hours from now, the invasion of our borders will end and the restoration of our sovereignty will begin. We will stop immediately criminals from pouring into our country from countries all over the world. That will stop immediately. We will quickly defeat the inflation crisis and unlock the liquid gold. You know what liquid gold is? We have more than anybody under our feet. In other words, we will drill, baby drill, and get those prices down, and everything else is going to follow as it always does. With the stroke of my pen, I will revoke dozens of destructive and radical executive orders and actions of the Biden administration, and by this
I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it for this clip. I guess he had a longer speech and they just cut it off. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little, preemptive conversations and interactions that he was having before he got inaugurated.
Special report anchor Brett Baer is with me here in Washington. Brett, great to be with you as we get ready for our wall-to-wall coverage of this rally and all the events to come.
It's going to be amazing. I mean, this is history. Obviously, it's the culmination of this, 2-year election to this point. And, we've talked about it a lot, about what a resurgence this was for Donald Trump. He's the second president to do this, Grover Cleveland being the first. And just the excitement, this weather does stink and it's going to get colder. It's wet. It's ugly. But if you look outside, the line for Capital One Arena, it goes. Now, Capital One Arena from where we are is about a mile plus away. This line goes all the way down through the National Mall, takes a right on Independence. I've never seen a line like that. That's miles long for trying to get in. And now they're going to have only so many people that can get in there. But it's going to be, an amazing event today and then tomorrow, obviously.
Well, some 200,000 people were expected, 220,000, I think, to come and watch this on the Mall. And, of course, that wasn't to be. They moved it inside for weather reasons initially. It's not really that cold out. I don't think it's going to be that cold out tomorrow. It's going to be probably a sunny day that would have been beautiful for an outdoor inauguration. I think it's going to be about 22, 23 degrees out there. But it will be sunny. We might get to see a little bit of a walk. We're still waiting for the final announcements on exactly how tomorrow is going to proceed, Brad.
Yeah, I think there's some question marks, And
yeah, and that him. And I understand he didn't want people to be cold in like 0, -7 degree weather and stuff like that. But I think I don't know. I think it was a psyops to get him not to do the big giant rally and kind of neutered the actual camp, like his inauguration. I don't know. Maybe it was they couldn't cover it and they couldn't it was a high kill rate on it, you know what I mean, or like some kind of major risk situation that even his people were saying, hey, we can't trust even the government to keep you safe before you take that inauguration. So I mean, this is the data we have on that. We think you should stay indoors. So maybe that what was going on, and they putting a good face on it to say that it was the bad weather or something like that. But I mean, I was out there for President Obama's first inauguration, and man, it was it was like negative. It was really, really cold. And we were out there from 4 in the morning all the way to, at the least like 6 in the evening. Literally. And I'm talking about a bunch of people too. So it's not like they haven't had inaugurations or weather conditions like the one that they have for this year. So I don't know what that was. And I think it was more of a security thing than the cold, frigid temperatures. Because I'm telling you, if you do your research, I think it's been inaugurations worse than that, and weather conditions worse than that. But look, it was brutal. I mean, even when President Obama was brutal, you needed to be layered up for real. And I had 2 cameras out there. I literally was walking around with 2 cameras. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy, So, yeah, that's a whole nother thing. I got footage on that too. So, anyway, let's see.
I don't know if we'll really know all of that, but I do think that when you get to the ceremony itself, being inside the rotunda, just like Ronald Reagan's second inaugural, it'll be interesting. And I think listening to that speech will be a moment that this president will be able to say what his next 4 years may look like.
In a couple minutes, we're going to go to Alexis, who is in the heart of the action there. But just because, you brought up the speech, which we're still waiting to get some indications on what to expect in this speech. They're keeping it very close to the vest. I went back and watched the last one, which really was, really what I thought when I watched it again, Brett, was that President Trump's vision of what he wants to see happen in the country has really never changed throughout the course of all of these years. He wants America first. He wants to restore manufacturing, education, to be tough around the world. All of these themes have never really varied through all those years.
They haven't. And his campaign, it was very matter of fact. This is what he was fighting for. I do think how he talks about it tomorrow may have changed. With the second time, he's changed a little bit. He seems more comfortable in his skin. He seems very easy to talk about uniting the country more than perhaps he did before. And I would expect that message to come through tomorrow a little bit more than we heard before.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of uniting when you look at the population that reelected this president. A larger portion of Latino, Black, young voters, so much movement across the country towards the right over the course of this election. So he has already, in many ways, in this election, unified a lot of groups that were not unified.
Okay, I guess that's it. Okay, okay, but look, so I wanted to kind of, because they said that Snoop Dogg, he played at one of the inauguration balls, and this was his opinion in 2017. You get what I'm saying? This is his rhetoric in 2017. You get what I'm saying? And this is the reason why I'm playing this is because there's a big situation with people in this is a celebrity talking crazy because he got power and influence and everything, but this is going on in people's families and like their neighbors and like friends and stuff like that, and it has no foundation to it, but it's rhetoric that was powerful and it influenced. You got to remember, 92% of Black Americans voted for Kamala. 92%. Okay? 92%. And the 7% that didn't vote for her, or 7 to 8% that didn't vote for her, they were what they call 27% men. So let me make sure I'm saying that right. 92% of 92% of the Black American population voted for Kamala. 13% men voted for Trump. So that means 87% voted for Kamala. Men. I mean, 12 to 13 million men. 12 to 13% men voted for Donald Trump. But 87% black men voted for Kamala. 92% women voted for Kamala. 8% women voted for Trump. Something like that, okay? But when the numbers came up, I think it was like I think it was like 92% of black America voted for Trump, and I'll get these numbers for you because I'm gonna do a separate episode that's literally takes you through the mindset of black America. You know what I mean? And it's like a self-defeating ideology. But a lot of the rhetoric, this is Snoop Dogg in 2017.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the out one of you Uncle Tom ass for doing it. Which one of you gonna do it first? Oz is the one that performs for himself.
So that is Snoop Dogg back in 2017 before Trump's first inauguration. Here's Snoop last night. He performed at the Crypto Ball as part of inauguration weekend for Donald J. Trump. Someone snapped a pic and put it on Twitter as well. Rick Ross also performed.
My mother say, Rose, man, you playing to win tonight, man. You sharp as a mosquito's needle. What's going on? That's that crypto, see? They let a real crip up in the crypto ball. Ooh. Bang, bang.
Snoop didn't post anything about the event on Twitter. On Instagram, he loves Instagram. He has posted 15 times today. 15 times today. Nothing about the event last night. So, thoughts?
Okay. So, and the reason why I'm letting y'all see that is because of just the rhetoric, the racist rhetoric. And that's not racist against white people. That was racist against black people. He was calling black people Uncle Toms and everything if they went to Trump's first inauguration in 2017. And if they performed for him and all that stuff. And then he was at a crypto ball that's literally part of the inauguration. And a huge Trump supporters funded that, and actually like a lot of the crypto guys, they wear MAGA hats and all. That's where he took a picture with the guy, with the crypto ball guy, one of the major guys and stuff like that. And let me see, show that picture. And they cut Rick Ross' face off, so they didn't even show him the right way, So let me, right here. Like this guy that he's in a picture with, he's a huge Trumper, huge Trump supporter, and he's a cryptocurrency guy. And he, I'm sorry that I can't remember the name of the gentleman, but he's funding all that stuff. He's like the king of crypto and stuff like that. And that's why because they know they get paid big money to be there and stuff. But that's a Trump inauguration ball. It's part of the administration. It's part of the celebratoriness of Trump, and they talking about Trump in the actual event to praise him and stuff like that. So when Snoop Dogg is there after saying that horrible comment, racist comment to black people, because that's racist, that's racism against black people, calling them Uncle Toms, jigaboo, and all that stuff like that. So, but end results is 4 years later, when he sees that he is the ultimate, and it ain't no joke, he's really that good and favored by the American people, Trump is, he decides to say, oh, you know what, I was wrong, I'll come up. But he ain't even saying that. He just, like, you gotta read. That's why the gentleman that was that this clip belongs to, what's his name, sorry about this, I'm using your clip. I'll put his information in the descriptions after I get through the video. But after this gentleman, let me see if they give me his name. But after Mr. O'Neill right here, name Graham O'Neill. I look at my monitor because I'm trying to see it on my screen. But I got two monitors here, one in the stream. But Mr. O'Neill from name is how you pronounce his name? Graham O'Neill. But Mr. O'Neill, this is his channel where he's kind of doing these on YouTube and everything like that. So if you want to look him up, type his name in, you'll get it. Grame, Graham O'Neill. Graham O'Neill, GRAEMEO'_NEIL O'Neill. And at Graham O'Neill. So anyway, he's kind of giving a commentary about him, but I'm just kind of letting you guys know this is the mindset that's still to this day in the black community. That's the only way 92% of the black community will vote for Kamala. That's complete. And I'm gonna be realistic to this. Black America has voted for Democrats for 50 years, 92% and up. 92% and up. They 100% of the time in the last 50 years voted 92% and up for Democrat. Something is psychologically wrong with the black community that do that time and all the complete devastation of the black family and the black community, that like it wasn't white America. It was because white America said, hey, you want your cities? Here, we'll give you your cities. You can pick your mayors, you can pick your city council members, you can pick your police officers, and you can run it the way you want to. You can pick your own treasurers, your own attorney generals inside of your city and everything like that. You could do whatever you want to it, whatever revenue from taxes and everything that you guys get in your city, you can manage that. You could do whatever you want with it. We going into the suburbs. You get what I'm saying? And that's what the American population and the white American population did. And like we talking in the 60s, 70s, all the way up to 2025. So if our city council members are putting statutes in place for city cops to pull us over for plates or whatever the situation is, that has cops interacting with citizens on a day-to-day basis when they pull them over and all this other crazy stuff, that's statutes levied down by your city council members that are black city council members or liberal city council members that black people pick as the full constituent of the actual voting population of that city. And they put that heavy hand on y'all. They destroy your life. They tax on your property. They do all the crazy stuff that disenfranchises you. They do terrible administrative of education in your city. Not the government. Government got no control of that. You guys have control of that. And the people, if you want to know what's going on in your city and why your city is responding to you in a way that you feel disenfranchised, blame your city council members and your mayor. Don't blame people that's in the state or I'm not even gonna say the state, because some states I got liberal governors that echo a lot of the crazy stuff the mayors do. So don't blame the presidency. You can understand the major power that you have to run your cities the way that you want is in your city council members and your mayor. That's the best I can say to you. But I just wanted to show you guys that, because this I want you to understand the mindset that's been going on for the last 12 to 15 years leading up to this inauguration, where they gotta say uncle. Let's go to the next clip.
Willie D Live.
Considering the backlash that you've received for agreeing to this performance, right?
But I've been getting backlash. I've been getting backlash my whole career. That don't bother me.
But this particular backlash is different. Right. How do you reconcile your artistic choices? How do you reconcile?
Now this. I didn't know who Willie D was. I had to look him up myself. He was a Goody Mob rapper and stuff, part of a rap group called the Goody Mob and stuff. That had CeeLo and all that stuff like in it. And he's chastising Nelly because Nelly decided to perform at the inauguration, the actual inauguration too. Well, actually, one of the inauguration balls, like the crypto ball, was one, but the one that he's doing on the night of the inauguration, where President Trump would be, that's actual rally that Trump will be at. I mean, not rally, but the inauguration ball that is with a lot of military people and stuff. They are the guests, and it's pretty much a ball that's gives tribute to to our soldiers and stuff like that. And a lot of them will attend the ball and stuff like that too. So that's the one that Nelly performed at. So I wanted to bring you in because Nelly, he's kind of getting, chastised for doing the agreeing to do the ball. Then this is before the ball.
How are your artistic choices with the diverse political beliefs of your fan base?
That's my fan base. If my fan base really have a political belief, right? Here's the thing. Like, I agree in family first. I believe in family first. Period. Family before politics. Family above and beyond. Like, right? Like, so now we don't always seem like we're making those choices sometimes when when we grow up the way that we grow up. Sometimes when we in the hoods and we're doing certain things, it's like, no, you're not putting your family first when you out there hustling, or you're not really putting your family first. Like, we can rationalize that and say that we are. But really we're not, because we're taking certain choices. But in our hearts, we truly believe that. So in this type of situation, if my fans are so if politics is above and beyond anything other than what that person stands for, what that person has done, then I apologize that I, quote unquote, let you down, because I thought you was riding with me for the scholarships that I've been giving away since I've been in this business. I thought you was riding with me for the people that I got signed up on the bone marrow stem cell registry that was all record breaking and helping people save lives. I thought you was riding with your boy for the children that we visit at Children's Hospital to Brains. I thought you was riding with me for the bikes and the presents and the things that we give away to unfortunate kids at Christmas. I thought you was riding with me because I put on for my city and I try to bring my city up every step of the way. I did not know you was riding with me because you thought I would ride for who you voted for. I didn't know that. I apologize. I apologize. I didn't know that I had to agree with your political choices, and I thought it was the things that you do, not the things that you say should be done. If you follow what I do, this shouldn't even be an argument. He's the president. He won. This isn't a campaign. This isn't an RNC. I'm not out on the political campaign. I didn't get none of that 1.5. You see what I'm saying? Like, to try to help somebody get voted.
Kamala didn't invite you to
No. She didn't invite me.
She didn't invite me either, man. I was going to do all at home.
Like, so, but I don't knock the ones that did. I don't knock the brothers and sisters that benefited from it. I don't knock the correspondents that may have gotten money to do that. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because it's an honor. I respect the office. It don't matter who is in office. The same way that our men and women, our brothers and sisters who protect this country, have to go to war and have to put their life on the line for whoever in office. So if they can put their life on the line for whoever in office, I can damn sure perform for whoever.
What do you say to the people that say we're not giving you this backlash because of your political affiliation or your political choice or whatever? We're giving you this backlash because you are propping up a white supremacist.
I would ask them to show me where he's a white supremacist, and here's the thing. Okay, I get it. He did say if you don't vote for me, you're not black, right? Oh no, that wasn't him. That wasn't him. Hold on. I'm trying to hold on. He did create
I know where you're going.
He did create the crime bill in the 90s, which said that if you get caught with 5 grams of crack, you do a mandatory 5 years. That had mass incarceration. I think even the Vice President Kamala spoke on that part, that said that the crime bill played a huge part. He didn't do that. Let me see. What did he do? I'm trying to think. The white supremacy. Hold on. I'm gonna get to it. He did not.
Willie D. It's ridiculous.
Rent to black people. What was it, in the 70s or the 80s? Is that what they said? And like, okay, is he written to him now? So nobody's allowed to change, right? See, here's the thing. So
yeah, he ain't explained that up right. Okay. In the 70s, Trump and his father developed condos and apartment complexes, and they had Trump implemented a business structure to it to say, hey, whoever leases or pay mortgage or rent to condos or apartment complexes, they need to make 3 times the amount of the value of the rent per month. So if, let's say, for example, if rent was $1,200, they needed to make $3,600 a month for them to be approved for the rent. Okay, just to keep stability of the company and the operations of the facilities and all that stuff like that. They needed to make sure people were very stable if they became tenants of these properties or these condos or property management, apartment complex. So the city of New York at this time was trying to implement a low income, like, poverty situation that would allow for anybody to rent no matter how luxury it was, no matter what it was, that anybody would be able to have the ability to rent whatever they want in the New York complex. But that would bring instability to those companies, because you got to kick people out, and you got to get court proceedings to kick people out from the landlord and all this stuff like that. So Trump and them just said, hey, don't approve people that can't up front really, like, if you could spend a third of your actual income on your roof over your head, because the money you need for food, the money you need for expenses, the money you need for leisure, you're not really kind of spending that all on rent. You're only spending a third on it. 2/3 of your income, you're pretty much doing whatever you want with it and whatever choice you want to make with it. And that was a stable foundation, and it had nothing to do with black people. It had nothing to do with low income people. Though if you fall into the situation where your economics is not that stable, it will include low income Hispanics or even Asians or black people. But that's just the cause and effect of keeping stable tenants in the apartment complex or condo. So at this time, yeah, and if you understand that late 70s, early 80s, it was radical and destructive in New York. So in this situation, it was like the system against free entrepreneur capitalists, people, money making people like Trump in them at that time. So they went heavy at him for this procedure that he had, and who he approved and who they approved for the condo and apartments and all that stuff. So Trump was fighting it like crazy, and they was fighting it, and he decided to settle and open up the renting and the condos to people who can afford the down payment, the last month's rent or whatever, and they can actually put the proper down payment on, and they could pay it. So it wouldn't be set to their income level. It would be to whatever is asked of them to pay, and they had to take their chance of, kicking people out through court violations and stuff, or stuff like that. So that's what's the situation behind this illogical thing of Trump not wanting to rent to black people.
We can talk about past, but we never want to talk about our past. If we bring up, if our past get brought up in our community for a lot of what our men did, we always call it rehabilitate. Yo, these young brothers, we've been through a lot. I know I've been through a lot. If my past was what was going to prevent me from winning today, I wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that he ain't got some fucked up ways. That's not what I'm saying at all. That's why I'm not telling you who to vote for. But what I'm saying is that he's the president of the United States. He's not the candidate for the United States. He's the president. He won.
I think if Trump, some of these ways, like, you know, with the housing discrimination that he participated in back in the 80s, if that was a one-off, if that was, or even if he had some other things going on where he looked like a bigot to us, that might be one thing. But it's another thing when he starts saying things like when you have a situation where you have black folks getting their heads blown off by the police with impunity, and Trump says, I'm going to give them even more impunity. Hold on. We're going to be the ones affected the most by something like
impunity. He's not giving them.
He didn't say he was going to give them impunity. He said he was going to give them immunity.
Right. Not for working outside of your job. Nobody's going to give anybody immunity to go around and shoot and kill people. Right. That means he could go around and shoot and kill the president. But that's what he said he was going to do. That means police can go around and shoot and kill the president. No. If you look at that law, it says outside of the scope of their job. It's the same thing, and a lot of us would agree right now.
Yeah, he knows. So even in Nelly's description of this, he really understands his policies. He's actually a Trump supporter. Yeah, we just didn't know it, and he waited to after the election to voice his opinion and celebrate it. But obviously, he's a Trump supporter, and his family probably know it. Wow, interesting. Because he knows that law. I know the immunity situation with the cops thing, and it's it literally says if they go out of the scope of what their training is, they can't be granted immunity. But if it's part of their procedures, if they follow the protocols and everything, and they get into a terrible situation where somebody dies, and then they get arrested, and they try to get their life, like they take their family house and all that stuff and try to put them in jail for the rest of their life, but they follow the procedures and the protocols of their training, then they're allowed to be granted their immunity for doing their job. But a tragic situation didn't happen, so he kind of knows the policies. So that kind of let me know that he actually understands the law that Trump is talking about, and only way he could have known that is if he's been really listening to Trump and follow and reading up on all the stuff, and he knows his stuff. So Nelly's a Trump supporter. I didn't know that. I thought he just was performing at the event.
It's already have it, right? So why would we think that would mean that if they're not paying now, then they're not gonna pay, right? Listen.
Don't hit me with the bird, man, dog.
You can't talk to these ignorant black people that got this highfalutin success, and now they trying to be Afrocentric and everything like that, because they ain't got to suffer the consequences of an ideological point of view. They don't have to suffer consequences of that. They got a good luxury, they got good lifestyle, they got good economics and everything. So in a logical point of view of managing black people is with these celebrities like Willie D and Jay-Z and all these people, Oprah Winfield, they kind of tout that stuff. But it doesn't work in real life because it has no value in society and implementation of mobility of black people. So it's all in a logical point of view, and it's all sounds good. But if you live your life thinking the way that Willie D and Oprah and Jay-Z and them think, you'll always be like on a hamster wheel. Ask why they're not on a hamster wheel, because they did some great stuff They mindset, the decisions that they made, how they moved the pieces on the chessboard in their life is powerful. It's Rockefeller movements. It's Rockefeller night mindset. It's Einstein. It's the high elite way of thinking. But they don't want you to think like that because you're a dumb black person, and they want to keep you dumb and black and stupid.
Yeah. No, because I'm trying to choose my words carefully because I don't want to get into,
Yeah, I do that a lot too. When I'm communicating and I got what I want to say, but I got to articulate it in a way that's favorable for me for long term. And for whoever comes across this podcast and listen to it, that they may take me out of context, but the context is there.
Rhetoric and regurgitation of what back and forth on either side is happening, because that's not it. That's why I'm not telling you who to vote for, because if you're saying in the 80s if it would have been a one-off, well, okay, I'm not okaying anything he's done. I'm not here to take up for Trump. I'm just saying we don't hold everybody else accountable in the same manner. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying, why aren't we holding mass incarceration and people who made a bill to encourage states to build more prisons? Why wouldn't we look at that crippled us as well? But somebody that owns a building in New York City, okay, that's in New York City, but that crime bill affected the whole United States. That crime bill affected every hood in the 90s. It affected every urban family to a certain degree, almost, that grew up in the 90s. We all come from, well, I ain't saying we all, people like us who come from certain areas of the states have people who were affected by this crime bill, mass incarceration. Now they say that drug addicts, they need help. Back then, we were considered animals. In the 90s, we were considered animals. Lock them up. Don't treat them. Lock them up. Now, if you see it now, it's an addiction. We need to get these people help. That, to me, that's more racist. To me, it's more racist to say if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, to a black man on a black show crazy. In 2020, not what somebody did in 1980. To me, that seems more racist to me. Maybe I'm wrong.
You got to point that. Look, man, when you're right, you're right. You know what I'm saying? When you're right, you're right.
But how you not know this? And he's gotta say it in order for you to have you come into the conversation with objectivity and total understanding of the big spectrum of the situation that may pop up. Like, I would never have a judgment on Trump if I don't know everything. I gotta know all the situations and everything where his name ever pop up. I can't be surprised by a racist situation. You get what I'm saying? If I gotta go by everything knowing before I can voice an opinion about him. So for Willie D, I can't voice my opinion about Willie D unless I kind of do the research on it or hear him describes himself in certain articulated ways, and then that destroys his credibility, that destroys his rhetoric, and what is the perception of him, and is it based in a solid foundation? And then you come to find out that it's not, and most of his rhetoric is rhetoric. You get what I'm saying? And then now I'm looking at the discussion between them, and I can evaluate him now because he put all objective analysis of objectivity and analytics tells me that he's very subjective. He's very emotional in his rhetoric, and the things that Nelly is saying are very key points, or at least he's articulating himself in a truthful manner of things that actually factually happen, and it's making him say, wow, okay, I can't argue that. I was expecting you to have Trump policies or Trump journey in you can articulate it in a way of defense. I was expecting that. So it's interesting.
The thing about Biden, I do believe, I think we find ourselves in a very peculiar situation in this country as black people. Where no matter which side we go on, even if we go on the black side, oftentimes
we find ourselves in a peculiar situation. Hey Siri, what's the definition of precarious? Okay, precarious. Not securely held or in position, dangerously likely to fall or collapse. Isn't that interesting? Not a securely held position, meaning that he's kind of telling you we find ourselves in a precarious situation, meaning that he finds himself in a precarious situation because what he felt that was stable is not stable. Just like the definition, it's not, it's unsecured. It has a chance of falling or breaking or crumbling. That's the definition of precarious. So you find yourself in a precarious situation because what you came into the conversation perceiving it doesn't hold up and it doesn't stand the test of time and it has no strong foundation for you to communicate. But Nelly, he's got a little bit more stronger foundation why he's supporting Trump and why he's doing his inauguration. And this is like, hey, don't talk to me about racism when you guys are radical racists and you actually support major crazy racists. And your rhetoric about Trump being a racist is all ideological point of views and emotional rhetoric. It has no basis to it. It has no foundation to it. It has no truth to it. It has nothing to hold it strongly. It can fall apart under scrutiny. And that's the truth. So you're in a precarious situation, Willie D.
We're gonna get stabbed in the back. We're in a country that targets us for failure. And even when we want to get into the system, try to do the right thing and try to be a conduit for change, oftentimes we find ourselves crippled by the politics, and we can't really get a lot done. So
we're crippled by our own politics, though. Black people are very strong, and they have very big power in this country, and we decided we rather destroy ourselves than take on that power and that leadership to be the advocate of America. And because everything that we know, all the greatness of a Black American is their foundation and their actual building of this country or setting this country in a structural way to succeed and be, yes, our slaves, our ancestral slaves sacrificed their life and their humanity in order to put America in a place where it can be the most powerful country in the world. That was done on the backs of our ancestral. And we look at it as slavery is something that's so mythological and so unnatural, and it's so extreme of the demon and the devil, and we look at it like that. But if you look at humanity as a whole, the 2,000 years of no understanding and no history of humanity, you'll find out that slavery has been in the Roman and in the northern hemisphere and in the African heritage. It's been slavery in the dominant of the weaker has been through the evolution and the process of humanity for hundreds and we're talking about thousands of years. So it means American slavery is not that special. And it's not so catastrophic in the history and the evolution of humanity. That sucks. I'm glad that black and slaves kind of fought and civil rights advocates and leaders fought for us to be as free as we are now. But in the totality and the objective analysis of human existence in the black slavery of America, I think we kind of give it too much prominence in the big fashion of things. Good, I'm not against that, because we got power right now. We got power, but we throw all our power aside for ghosts, for theory and ideological point of view of ghosts. So his rhetoric has no foundation and it's precarious. Okay.
Like when you look at Biden, I think people want to believe that Biden has turned a new leaf. They want to believe that Biden has turned a new leaf because they gotta rock with somebody,
right?
We're in a situation where, okay, you got to pick a side. You got to rock with somebody. And then you have those of us who say, man, fuck all of them. I don't want to rock with none of them.
I'm independent. I'm independent. That's why I don't tell you.
I'm also independent.
That's why I don't tell you. I don't swing either.
There's no such thing as independent, y'all. You rock one way or the other. Independent is a PR talking point. Okay, it's literally like purgatory. It's like literally, or worse than that. It's almost like not even making a decision. You know how successful Nelly is? That man makes absolute and decisive decisions in his life. If you think he wasn't a Trump supporter making a right or left decision for probably a long time, you're a fool. But I understand this is the rhetoric he has to have, trying to keep his base tight with him. You know what I mean? Because 92% of them voted for Kamala. He don't want to hurt his sales rate in the black community. So I get it, Nelly. I get it. And then for this Willie D to act like I'm independent. Nah. There's no way you could support Kamala or Biden. There's no way. And you be an independent. You be an objective analysis of what the truth is. There's no way. No way. Nelly, he voted for Trump both times. I'm pretty sure all 3 times, really. So this is ridiculous.
Wait, the only reason we're talking today is because he won. He's the president. I'm here to perform for the office. That's all. That's that.
So your point. So what do you say to people who say, yeah, the Trump comes with the office? So you're performing for Trump. His name is on the inauguration.
Well, more than half this country voted for Trump. If you respect the process when the process works in your favor, respect the process when it don't work in your favor.
But I think hold on, stop right there. That's a good point. That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
One of the issues that people have is that Trump don't respect the process when it don't work in his favor.
Okay.
If things don't go his way, like if he had not won, he would have said everybody cheated on him. He got cheated.
But I was told certain people when they go low, we go high.
No, when they go low, I go low.
I know
going low.
I feel you.
I'm going low.
I feel you. Listen, let me tell you something, my brother. Like, I don't get into like federal politics or like that. I agree with the homie Killer Mike and the brother Killer Mike when he said like, yo, you should be more on your state politics more than anything ever that. And I'm not saying that I'm really intertwined into all of that. I just want to do good by my people, and that means getting things done.
Okay, so that's the end of that clip. So look, and I just want to let you guys see there's some heat on supporting Trump. It always is, It's like for me, this hat, I bought this hat in like 2016. 2017 or no 2016. You get what I'm saying? I started my podcast world in 2008, but really like archiving it. Really was in 2015 when he came down that escalator. I said, "Oh my God, dude, he's the one. You get what I'm saying? I knew it right then and there. And I started my podcast journey. You can go into Apple Podcasts or Spotify or SoundCloud, and you can see some of my old episodes on the individual perspective. I'm going to put them all on this channel too. But additional to that, I covered the 2020 pandemic and all that stuff like that. I had a friend. He's like a brother to me, really. His name is Khalil Biddle. We did a podcast called Life Choice, Health and Wealth. You can see it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and SoundCloud also. And we covered all the stuff, and it holds up to this day. And I say that because I couldn't even wear this hat because of the violence that was going on with people. And for me, I'm a 0 to 60 person. If you approach on me physically in a way, you could communicate and say what you want. We're gonna be having a verbal altercation, but if you become physical, that gives me the right to the extremity. There's no range once you superimpose violence on someone or physicality on someone. So for me, it's all or nothing for me. So I won't get into scenarios where I have to actually practice that and actually be about that. I said, nah, I can't be walking around with the hat and stuff like that. But that was hundreds of millions of Trump supporters that was like that. At the least, we know about 70 million. That's what's consistent from 2016 all the way up to now, that he had about 70 million faithful people that no matter what happens, they vote for Trump. Okay? This extra 77 million that came out of this thing, that was people that was really hurt economically in the last 4 years. Really, really hurt. And there was no other way that they were going to go, because they couldn't see their life go like this economically another year. So no matter what, they were voting for Trump. That's where those 7 to 8 million people came from. Okay? So, look, I'm trying to give you guys a big analysis on a lot of this stuff, but let's go to the next one.
President Trump promising at his Inauguration Eve rally that he isn't going to waste any time reversing executive orders signed by President Biden.
Every radical and foolish executive order of the Biden administration will be repealed within hours of when I take the oath of office. Somebody said yesterday, sir, don't sign so many in one day. Let's do it over a period of weeks. I said, nope. Like hell, we're going to do it over weeks. We're going to sign.
I know that's right.
Signing them all today. Terry Schilling is the president of the American Principles Project, and he joins me now. Terry, good morning to you. Great to see you. So what do you think?
Yeah, that sounds like some stooge. He's fighting his cabinet already. I love it. That's exactly how you need to be.
Thank you so much for having me, Carly. The headlines tomorrow, depending on which newspaper you're reading, if I was writing the headlines, it would be that America is entering a new golden age, right? And that is what President Trump has been saying. We're going to unleash American energy. We're going to secure our southern border and get back to basics. But Carly, we're also going to protect families. He's expected to sign over 200 executive orders tomorrow, and a lot of those are going to be about protecting our kids, getting men out of girls' sports, and it's a new golden age, especially for the American family.
Yeah, there's just so much coming at us all at once when it comes to all of these executive orders that we are rolling on our screen right now, from, ending catch and release to reinstituting Remain in Mexico, declaring a national emergency at our border, directing the U.S. military to work with the Department of Homeland Security to fully secure our southern border, executive orders on energy, on signing an executive order to strengthen presidential control over senior government officials and implementing new merit-based hiring reviews. I mean, the president says that this is promises made, promises kept, and he has made a lot of promises, and he says that he's going to deliver today. During his rally yesterday, he talked about the American dream, and take a listen to what he said.
At noon, The curtain closes on 4 long years of American decline, and we begin a brand new day of American strength and prosperity, dignity and pride. Every day will be filled with opportunity and hope, and also filled with a thing called the American dream that you don't hear much about anymore.
Absolutely.
And Terry, there was also this cute moment where Laura and Eric Trump had their kids on stage and they said the Pledge of Allegiance. And that's really what this is all about, right? Keeping America as strong as possible and strengthening it for future generations. And I'm sure that's something that weighs on the president's mind every day.
No, Carly, that's exactly right. President Trump has taken a bullet, literally, for this country. He cares about the future. He's a grandfather and a father himself, and it's obvious why he's doing this. He wants to make a better America for his children, his grandchildren, and soon, I'm sure, with Kai, you know, she's going into college and stuff, it's his great-grandchildren. This is what America's always about. It's about sacrificing for the next generation so that our kids and grandkids can have a better future and make it better for everyone. This is what love is. This is what America's all about.
Yeah, and thinking about Donald Trump's political trajectory, I mean, during his first 4 years in office, he even said it, he was a political newcomer. He didn't know a lot about Washington, D.C. He said he made some hiring mistakes. And then he had 4 years to think about it. And now he's entering office with experience. He has a team of people around him who he supports and who are loyal to him. That's a major difference. How will we see that difference unfold?
Well, we're already starting to see it right now, Carly, in the lack of leaks from the administration, right? I mean, if you remember that first term, there were all these disloyal people that had snuck into the Trump administration, and they were nonstop leaking lies and misinformation just to advance their own agenda, right? And even to thwart his own. So I think that he's learned, he's got a loyal team that's actually dead set. They've learned you can't make mistakes. You've got to be very careful about who you trust in this town. And that's true for everything. So I think we're going to see a lot more get done, a lot less drama, because he's gotten it down to the most loyal supporters that he has in his team, people that really love their country more than they love them.
Yeah, that's what people gotta understand. Like he gonna fight not to put people in administration from the jump. That's not for his leadership, for what he's talking about, for what his policies are and what he want them to actually do in their job. I'm sure Marco Rubio, he got his own little opinion on certain things, but he gonna do exactly what Trump want him to do. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure Trump said, "Hey, don't even take the job, man. Don't even take the job if you're not gonna do this specifically, this as a state senator, state Secretary of State. Don't even do it." And I'm sure all of them agreed to do it his way. So I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna make a prediction. This is gonna be one of the very few administration that doesn't change a lot of the department heads for the first for these 4 years. Not first, because this is his last 4 years. But I'm telling you, I don't think Secretary of State gonna change in a couple years, and I think it's gonna be rocky. But I think he preemptively in the meeting told them about that. So I think he's gonna have a strong crew, man. And all the Republicans got to do is not get illogical. Right now, we know that the senator from Alaska, Murkowski, Susan Collins, she's a liberal from Maine, and Mitch McConnell, because he pretty much made him have to step aside, and he's old hack, and and he beefing with Trump because he hate him because how great he is, and how Mitch McConnell is just a crappy senator in the dust bowl of history, and Mitch McConnell's a problem. So those three people have a high probability to mess up his picks for department heads and stuff, and it makes J.D. Vance have to come in, because that's what happened with Pete Hegseth for the Secretary of Defense. But we'll get to that in the third episode of this inauguration ceremonies and stuff. But anyway, let's think they pretty finished. I don't care about the commentary.
So it's a very, very good thing. I'm excited for it.
Terry, thank you so much for joining us. So Trump
Okay, so let's see what's going on
is
here.
expected to sign over 200 executive actions today, focusing on border security, energy independence, and government efficiency. Some of the orders range from border security, abolishing DEI policies, and even securing clearances for intel officials.
It's been a long 4 years, nasty. It's been a nasty 4 years. My administration will take immediate and decisive action to confront every single problem America faces and put our nation back on the path to success and greatness. Within hours of taking office, I will sign dozens of executive orders. We will not waste a single moment in delivering on our promises to the people.
Fox.
Okay, so let me let them kind of speak a little bit, because that was the second half of the video. That was my fault for disturbing it. Give me 1 second.
Administration will take immediate and decisive action to confront every single problem America faces and put our nation back on the path to success and greatness. Within hours of taking office, I will sign dozens of executive orders. We will not waste a single moment in delivering on our promises to the people.
Fox News digital political correspondent and reporter Brooke Singman had that exclusive reporting. She joins us now. Brooke, you broke this story. 200 plus is an absolutely massive number. What are the ones that the American people are going to be talking about the moment pen hits paper?
Hey guys, it's massive, and they say it is record-breaking. This is going to be the most action-taking in American history on the first day a president is in office. So he's going to take more than 200 executive actions today after he's sworn in as the 47th president of the United States. So here is what you need to know about that. So Trump is going to declare a national border emergency. He's going to direct the U.S. military to work with the Department of Homeland Security to fully secure the southern border, and he's going to close the border to all illegal aliens. He's also going to designate cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. He's going to reinstate remain in Mexico and catch and release, and do a number of border security, immigration related executive actions there. So that's just for border security. Then he's going to shift over to energy. And I'm told he is going to sign a number of executive orders and actions related to drilling and offshore wind leases. He is going to unleash American energy. That is what the senior official who was authorized to describe all of these actions to me told me. That is the saying that, of course, we heard out on the campaign trail, drill, baby, drill, all of that. That is going to come through in the first actions today. Then he's going to end Biden's electric vehicle mandate. He's going to end the Green New Deal, and he is going to take the United States back out of the Paris Climate Accord, which he did when he took office in 2017. Biden put the U.S. back in 2021, January 2021, and now Trump's back and he's taking the U.S. out of that agreement again. Then he's going to end diversity, equity, and inclusion programs all across the federal government. That's something that he plans to do today. He's going to take action to assert presidential power over the federal bureaucracy as well. A lot of his teammates and officials involved in crafting these executive orders said that Trump plans to exert that presidential power over the federal bureaucracy as well. He's going to put a hiring freeze for federal workers, and he wants federal workers to return to the office. Beyond that, Trump is expected to establish a biological sex definition, and he's going to rename places like the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America, and that's going to happen today. Of course, TikTok, that's something he previewed himself yesterday. TikTok is back up and running after it went dark for a short period of time. He's going to extend that period before the law actually takes effect so that the company and the country and lawmakers can come up with a deal or some sort of agreement that would protect U.S. national security there. So that's just a few of the actions that we're expected to see the president-elect, at that time, the president, taking today.
Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. So next episode, I'm going to stop it right here and we're going to go to the next one. And the second part, we're going to cover the inauguration day. Okay, so get ready. Like I said, I want to do this. I want to keep us in history. I want to make sure that we cover this and they shut down my channel. They gave me issues and everything, every kind of issue that was popping up. So I wanted to make sure that we come online and be a little bit more aggressive to, like, before we start covering the up-to-date stuff, that we go back and really cover the inauguration the way I really wanted to on Inauguration Day. But it's just Tubi stuff. I'm not Tubi. See, YouTube stuff. So, but look, this Individual Perspective Podcast. I'm your host, Daris D. McKinney. We are about to cover the inauguration and everything like that. And let me see. Why my poster look like this? That's interesting. Okay. That's interesting. There we go. There we go. Cut too much of bite his face off. But yeah, so this is Individual Perspective Podcast. This is our Donald J. Trump 2025 presidential inauguration ceremony. This is our coverage of it, and it's going to be in 3 parts. The first one is the preemptive, leading into the inauguration. It's the inauguration day, and then the aftermath of it. And we're going to start covering everything. We're going to get ourselves up to date. Hopefully, we do a heavy day of podcasting. I got to do a little work when I get around 7 o'clock, so I might sign off around that time. Hopefully, I can come back sometime that night or at least tomorrow morning. But hopefully we have all 3 of them done and we can go into the updated information of this, how he's doing, because he's kicking ass. His first week was awesome. So I'm going to give you a little bit of what happened through the first week before I end it tonight. So thanks for joining us. My name is Daris D. McKinney. I need you guys to hit the like, follow, subscribe. Like, follow, subscribe. Give $1, $2 into the Venmo, into the PayPal. Come on, y'all. Y'all could do this. I'm trying to do very, very powerful and productive things here. So let's do it, y'all. I'm gonna do some shorts and everything on my page, because obviously that gives me a lot of people to click on the actual channel, so you guys can check this stuff out. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes for the second part. So I'll make sure I'm controlling this pretty good. So I'll see you guys in the second part in a few more minutes. I'm going to do some shorts and then we're going to come back on. Check you guys out. This is Individual Perspective Podcast, where your truth is the objective truth. Why? Because we do not communicate and we do not allow for the conversation that we are having and the conversation that you are having to be subjective. We make sure that you vet your mama, your daddy, your sisters, your brothers, your siblings, your community, your favorite movie stars, your favorite musicians, your favorite politicians, your favorite philosophical motivational speaker. We make sure that you vet everything that comes out of another human being's mouth before you allow for it to take shape in your head and your heart and your soul, and then you communicate it to another person. We make sure that when you communicate is built under objectivity and has an objective analysis to it. That way, your truth is the objective truth. That's what Individual Perspective is. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Check you out.